If you're a candle maker who feels stuck, overwhelmed, or confused, you're not alone. Today I'm breaking down the 3 phases every candle maker gets stuck and how to finally get unstuck. Hi, I'm E. Strickland. I've helped countless candle makers move through these exact stages, and honestly, I wish someone would have told me how to do this when I first started. So let's save you months or years of frustration. All right, so the first place people get stuck, decision overload, right? They learn about this whole candle making world and they get super excited, but then they turn around and they get stuck in what I call analysis paralysis. New candle makers have option overload, okay? They got a million different containers, a million different waxes, wicks, fragrances, and colors on the market. So they dive deep into hours of research before ever ordering a single supply. And this is a huge mistake because you can learn all the rules of the road, but if you never step foot in the actual driver's seat, you're not going to learn how to drive that car. And candle making is a doing skill. Sometimes you just got to get in, turn the key, and go. So let me simplify it for you even more, okay? Here are the only 5 things you need in order to make a candle. Number 1, a container. Okay, choose a 6 ounce, 8 ounce, or 12 ounce. Those are the most common size containers for candle making. Make sure it's safe, make sure it's high heat rated, or a canning jar, high pressure. Okay, pick one, order it, and move on. Second thing you need is a wick. Okay, we got cotton and wood wicks on the market. If you want the easy route, go with cotton. Okay, Google the recommended wick size for your container that you just picked out. If you're unsure, buy a variety pack, and I actually recommend you do that. But don't overthink this. Order it and move on. Also, make sure you grab some glue dots or wick holders if you want to use them, but you don't need them. You can use clothespins, a butter knife, whatever you got laying around the house. Okay, popsicle sticks work great too. All right, number 3, you need wax. Okay, so we got soy, paraffin, and beeswax are the most common. Paraffin is the easiest to work with. It sets up smooth and it burns hot. Okay. Soy is all natural. It's softer, which means it may crack or crater, but you can add a bit of coconut oil as a natural remedy if you want to. Beeswax, it's natural, it burns beautifully, and it performs like paraffin wax, but without the actual toxins. So pick one wax from a candle supplier, not Amazon or Temu. Those are low quality waxes. Check the max fragrance load in the product description, okay? You're gonna need that when it comes time to make your actual candle. And number 4, your fragrance oil. Pick one you love, okay? Not 50 or 100 oils like I know all the newbies love to do. That will slow you down for months, okay? Choose 1 to 3 max, order them, and move on, okay? And number 5, dyes. They're all completely optional. We got blocks, we got liquids, we got flakes. Those are the most common. Liquids tend to sink to the bottom, not fully dissolve. That's my experience with them. I'm not a fan. Powders, same thing. They can kind of they tend to be grainy and the residue goes to the bottom. Again, not really a fan of them. Blocks are awesome. They melt smoothly and they're easy to work with. Also, if you want white dye, it only comes in flakes, powder, and liquid. Okay, so keep that in mind. It does not come in blocks. So if you're new, I recommend dye blocks for color and flakes for white. Okay, but again, dye is completely optional. You don't even need it as your 5th ingredient. The key at this stage is speed, okay? The faster you order your supplies, the faster you learn how to make them. And that's the goal, right? You can literally order everything in under an hour, and congratulations, you just overcame the number 1 hurdle that stops 99% of candle makers before they even begin. So pat yourself on the back. If you're finding this helpful, make sure you like and subscribe for more candle making and candle business guidance. All right, number 2, the second place candle makers get stuck. Perfecting the recipe. Your supplies have arrived. Time to roll up your sleeves and get in the kitchen. Do not procrastinate and put this off, okay? Here's what you'll actually need. A double boiler setup. You can do this simply with 2 pots that you already have in your kitchen. You don't have to order any fancy equipment. Literally, take a small pot, put it in a bigger pot, put water in the bottom, put wax in the top, and you're good to go. That will set up your double boiler system. All right? Number 2, you're going to need a scale, okay? An actual scale that you can use to measure your wax and fragrance accurately. And if you don't have one already, you can pick one up at any Walmart in the kitchen section. All right? And number 3, last but not least, you need a thermometer, okay? Something you can use to mix your oils and know your temperatures because you need to mix them at 185 degrees depending on your wax. All right. Now, calculate your fragrance load by looking at your wax's recommended percentage. Again, I told you to write that down when you're actually ordering your wax. If your wax holds 8%, for example, and you're working with 2 pounds of wax, this is how we figure that out. Super simple. 2 times 16 equals 32 ounces of wax times 8%, 0.08, equals 2.56 ounces of fragrance oil. Super easy. Do not overcomplicate it, okay? Melt your wax to 185 degrees. Add your fragrance, stir gently for 2 to 3 minutes to allow it to fully bind. And now you can also add your dye if you're using any. Again, stir until it's fully dissolved. And that's it. Let your wax cool, stir occasionally, and get your containers wicked, okay? So we're gonna use glue dots. And if you're testing multiple wick sizes, make sure you put 1 wick per jar. Don't try to start out fancy with 2 to 3 different wicks in one container, okay? We want to start with 1 wick per jar. And if you're doing different sizes, do your different sizes per jar. This is how you learn fast, okay? Optional step, pre-warming your jars, okay? So 5 minutes in the oven at your lowest oven temperature or your keep warm temperature, ours is 170 degrees, helps prevent wet spots in clear containers. Again, if you're using solid containers that you can't see through, this is a step that you can skip, okay? Once your wax cools to your pouring temperature, check your product description. Again, usually it's between 135 to 155 degrees. Ladle in your pouring container and fill your jars, okay? Cover your candles and let them cure overnight. Do not peek at them. Do not look at them. Do not move them. Let them cure 100% untouched, okay? The next morning, you're going to top your candles with a heat gun or a blow dryer on low heat if needed. This is especially for soy wax. It tends to crater or bubble. So you're going to want to top those candles and let the wax fully melt in and fill any voids, okay? After that, you're going to trim your wicks and then move into test burns, okay? Technically, you only need 24 hours to do a test burn. But if you're testing for scent throw, you want to wait 3 to 7 days, okay? So when it comes to test burns, you can test to see the quality of the actual burn, or you can test for the fragrances. All right. And when you move into testing, make sure you test for a minimum of 3 hours. Okay. You're going to want to be checking for the following things. Does it stay lit? Does it melt all the way to the edge? Does it avoid tunneling or soot? And is your flame between a 1/2 inch and 1 inch tall? Okay. If your flame is too big, then you need to downsize your wick, re-pour, and retest. Same thing is true in opposite. If it's too small, if it stays a 1/4 inch and it's flickering, it's not staying lit, you need to upsize your wick, okay? Only change one variable at a time. Once it checks all 4 of these boxes, congratulations, you've officially made your first successful candle. If you want me to walk you through all these steps in detail with video demonstrations, check out my candle making course in the description below. All right, moving into the 3rd place, candle makers get stuck. Going from maker to business owner. This is a big one, okay? After my students nail the recipe, the next question is always, okay, now how do I sell my candles? And for years, I didn't feel qualified to answer that. Even though we were making 6 figures consistently, I had imposter syndrome. Who am I to teach you that? I'm not a marketing guru. I don't run an ad agency. I'm just a small business owner. And I stayed off camera for years. I never wanted fame. I still don't. I just wanted to run my business in peace behind the scenes. But I kept seeing candle makers struggle with things that I already solved, things that took me years to figure out, and I felt called to help them. So recently I started sharing everything that I know, the systems, the mistakes, the shortcuts, the strategies, and watching my students go from feeling hopeless to finally believing their candle business dreams were possible been the most rewarding part of this entire journey. As a former engineering student, I've simplified and streamlined everything into an easy to follow system that any candle maker can implement. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, just copy what works. If you'd like to learn my exact system to start selling your candles consistently, tonight I'm hosting a free candle selling workshop where I break down everything step by step. You'll learn what actually gets sales, what most candle makers waste time on, how to price correctly, how to attract buyers, and how to finally stop feeling overwhelmed. And at the end, I'll be doing a live Q&A, so if you have anything that you want to ask, you can get real help in real time. Click the link in the description to register. It's completely free. Thank you for watching. And if you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more candle making and candle business advice. I hope to see you on the live tonight.